it's your girl Jay and welcome to my channel where today
I'm gonna be a bad boy. I gotta be a bad boy. I'm gonna be a bad boy. I gotta be a bad boy.
So before I get started with this video, I'd just like to open by saying I'm going to be going on a small hiatus this month of January and won't be back until the beginning of February. There's just a lot of stuff in like real life and in my personal life that I really have to sort out and get straight. So I decided to just give myself this month off to kind of get things together so I can come back better as ever for you guys. Now that being said, this channel is not going to be completely barren. I have a video series and a couple scheduled videos that were planned like a while ago, so they're going to be going up, but other than that there won't really be new stories. However, because I am a DJ on A1 Radio, I will still continue doing my bi-weekly show, Day Bakri, there. The next one's going to air on Thursday, January 12th at 12 p.m. It's pretty much like, you know, Daily Dose or Weekly Roundup where I talk about news, but I also play different K-pop songs, so that's kind of cooler. So if you want to know how you can listen to that, links down below. So that's just a heads up, but I will make sure that I am fresh and brand new in February, and if I do decide to go to the GOT7 fan meet in DC, I will be vlogging that, so just so you know. Anyway, let's get into this video. Some of you may not know because maybe you joined this year, but my channel grew a lot this year and I got to do a lot of different stories and go to awesome places, so I thought it'd be fun to kind of do a recap series of, you know, all the biggest stories that I talked about this year. So 2016, we saw a lot of departures and the end of groups, and it was honestly quite sad because a lot of this did happen with the second generation, the K-pop generation that I came into. So it was just really weird seeing groups that, you know, when I came into K-pop were babies, lose members, disband, and things of the sort. So today I decided to compile the top 5 most shocking member departures of 2016. Now heads up, I will be doing multiple videos like this, recapping moments and different story topics of 2016, but keep in mind with these lists, they're based off of stories I personally did on my channel. Like for example, in this upcoming list, I will not be talking about Nam Taehyun because I never did a story on him. Now that being said, as always guys, I'm really open to hearing what you guys think, so make sure after watching this video in the comments below, you talk about what were the most shocking member departures for you, and we can get the conversation rolling. So let's get started. It was announced on AOA's official fan cafe that member Yoo Kyung would be leaving the group in FNC. For those of you who don't know, AOA actually has a band unit called AOA Black that consists of members Jimin, Mina, Choa, Yuna, and Yoo Kyung. And while Yoo Kyung is active in this unit, she's not active for the AOA that's responsible for songs like Mini Skirt, Heart Attack, Like a Cat, and hasn't promoted with the group since AOA Black's last single in 2013. The message on AOA's fan cafe read, "Hello, this is FNC Entertainment. We're here to inform you fans of some unfortunate news. We'd like to announce the fact that our contract with AOA's drummer Yoo Kyung has come to an end. We were able to arrive on this conclusion after a long and thorough discussion, and we ultimately decided to respect Yoo Kyung's wishes. Despite the fact that Yoo Kyung's contract has ended with our label, she plans to join AOA for the group's band projects as an honorary member by fulfilling her role as the drummer. We'd like to thank all the fans who've encouraged Yoo Kyung, and we ask that you give your love and support to Yoo Kyung, who will be setting off on a new start ahead, as well as to the other members of AOA." So it seems as though even though she's no longer like officially part of FNC or the group, she'll pop in from time to time if they ever do decide to promote as AOA Black again. And you know, while it is disappointing that she was left with nothing to do for years until they were able to come to this compromise, it's a really dope compromise overall, because let's be real, with as popular as AOA's dance music is, it might be risky to go back to the band unit anytime soon. But at the same time, I can see how they wouldn't want to totally let the band unit go, because you never know when you're gonna have to switch it up. And while Yoo Kyung's situation is a bit peculiar, it's actually pretty similar to a lot of artists who debut and then seem to be thrown in the dungeon by their respective companies. So it's nice that Yoo Kyung is given the freedom to follow whatever path she wants to, while AOA as a dance group is doing their thing, but is able to come back and rejoin the band unit if she so chooses. I mean, her career shouldn't be put on hold just because AOA Black was. So overall, I wish AOA and Yoo Kyung good luck. Moving on! These second gen girl groups, they're breaking my heart right now. On September 26th, it was revealed that Secret member Sunhwa would be leaving the group after deciding to not renew her contract after its upcoming expiration date. Sunhwa posted an official statement saying, "To all the thankful Secret Time fans and all the people who support and encourage me, it's Han Sunhwa. Not like usual, I'm sending greeting with a careful heart. Firstly, I'm really grateful and happy that I was able to laugh, to cry with all of you while receiving all the love and attention as a member of Secret for 7 years. Looking back to those days, I think I couldn't be able to do all the great things alone without unimaginable love from you all. It's a difficult and sad choice, but I will cherish the memories and all the passion from those days to look forward to the upcoming days. A brand new start ahead with lack and newness, but to pay back to everyone's support, I'll be a person who tries my best anytime, anywhere. To TS, Secret members and Secret Times, thank you all so much." Member Hyo Sung has spoken out about the news, saying that she'll continue to support Sunhwa in her future endeavors. Now, this news does not come without drama, not only because many are wondering if this news of Sunhwa leaving means that we'll soon be hearing disbandment news from Secret, but also there's a lot of criticism towards Sunhwa because many feel as though she gave up on Secret and caring about them a long time ago due to her passion and interest of wanting to become an actress and continue her career in the acting world, leaving the idol life behind. Not to mention she's been accused in the past for being a source of discord in Secret, especially with the Twitter incident that happened in 2015. I would talk about it in this video, but I don't think I have enough time, so I'm just gonna link it down below for those of you who want to hear more on that story. But although that situation was really messy and it did seem like she had a lot of interest in acting and going towards that thing, I don't think I'll ever like blame an idol or, you know, shame an idol for wanting to no longer be an idol, even if that does mean leaving their group behind. Just because, I mean, you all know, starting training as an idol starts so young. Like, people start when they're 10, 11, 12, like 15, 16. So imagine being bound to a dream you had when you were like 12 years old for the rest of your life. And I'm not sure specifically when Sunhwa started training, but even choosing something to do for the rest of your life at an age like 15, 16, that's pretty hard. I mean, if I was still following the dreams I had as a kid, right now I'd be a magical girl astronaut, field hockey star, substitute gym teacher that was married to Ash Ketchum. I have no regrets. And a lot of the times, you know, idols come in wanting to be actors, but then get thrown in idol groups. So you can't really blame them for wanting to revisit their passion. I guess my only regret is that, you know, their final days as a 4-member group, we didn't get, you know, a last comeback, kind of like a goodbye in a sense. But honestly, like, there was a point in time where you couldn't go 2 seconds without seeing a Secret member on TV, hearing a Secret hit song. So they're one of those groups that were fortunate enough to hit it big and have a pretty good run. After a tug-of-war for the last couple months in terms of a back and forth between Hyunsung from Beast and his fans, last week it was revealed that he would be leaving Beast officially and starting a solo career. So it's kind of weird because I feel like if we never got any statements from their company or no apology from him, people would probably have been like suspecting this when the whole onslaught of his controversy with his fans and how he was acting and people feeling like he was over the idol life broke out. A lot of people saw it as just that. He was over the idol life. He was ready to move on. He's probably not going to renew his contract with Beast, etc., etc. But then when we got the apology and all this stuff, people saw that as him trying to make amends with his fan base and trying to clear this whole thing up because he wants to continue on with Beast. So now that it's just been announced that he's leaving, it's kind of like, oh, well, if you were just gonna leave, you should have just left. Like, I don't know. It's just like, I don't know. It's a sad thing. Like, I'm not gonna lie. I was never like a hardcore Beast stan. I liked Bad Girl. I like some of their songs, but I was never like 100 hardcore Beast stan. So I guess it's not affecting me as much. As, you know, a Beast a beauty or whatever. But like, the way I see it is just that I think this is probably the best option, especially if he's just not feeling the Beast life anymore. Because if, like, that's the one thing. The worst thing you can do is force somebody to try to do something they don't want to do, because odds are they're not going to somehow just snap back to wanting to do it, or put their best foot forward if they're not interested in it. And I'm not saying that this doesn't mean he doesn't like the Beast members, but there just comes a time in somebody's life where you just, I don't know, you just don't feel like doing a certain thing. And you have to remember, I think with a lot of these idols, because, you know, a lot of people were bringing up how Sully left her group and XYZ left their group. I feel like we have to keep in mind that a lot of these idols started and chose this idol life when they were like in elementary school, and odds are that you are very different now, like when you're in your 20s, than you were when you were 13, 14, 15, 16. So maybe that was your dream and goal, to be in this boy group or this girl group or whatever when you were young, because people were telling you, you know, go for it or whatever. But who knows, maybe you want to change and do this kind of music or be this kind of artist or this, that, and the third. So it's kind of like, I can understand why he left. Now, I was interested to hear that he's gonna have a solo album, because I mean, Beast, I would say, like a lot of boy groups, is probably very dependent on their fan base in terms of, you know, their releases and things like that being successful. But this whole time, with all the things that was happening, it was literally him upsetting his fan base. So now you're gonna be like relying on solely your own fan base for this, at least for a while. I mean, he can get to the, I'm not saying like there's a possibility he can get to the point where, you know, he doesn't have to rely on his fan base because he has so much public appeal and like so many hits that he just built himself as a figure in the public. But I feel like starting out, he's definitely gonna have to like rely on his fan base. So that's kind of scary, because these are the people who were just dragging you a couple months ago. So I don't know, maybe he should have waited until his relationship with the fan base was better repaired or something. But either way, good luck to the rest of the Beast as they carry on, and good luck to Hyun Sung. I'm wishing you well, bro. You're very talented, so I'll give you that. So JYP Entertainment shocked fans everywhere when they announced this week that Day 6 keyboardist Jun Hyuk would be leaving the group. The announcement, which was posted to their group's fan club page, read, "Hello, this is JYP Entertainment. Jun Hyuk, who has been doing activities with Day 6 members, has left the band and canceled the contract with the company due to his personal reasons. Please support Jun Hyuk, who has met his new path, and also Day 6 members that have an upcoming album and are preparing their best to meet all the fans." Now, as you can see, this departure is a shock due to the fact that Day 6 is not even a whole year into their debut, but also due to the fact that they were gearing up for a comeback that's alleged to happen this March. Now, while the official statement says that Jun Hyuk's departure has to do with personal reasons, some people feel that it might have something to do with the accusations that were floating around that Jun Hyuk was dating a fan. Suspicion started about a month ago when a Jun Hyuk bias fan popped up and started posting intimate details about the group's performances and appearances to social media. Even more fuel was added to the fire when a text conversation between Jun Hyuk and a fan was posted online. In the conversation, Jun Hyuk mentions recognizing the fan from her attendance at fan meets and concerts, and recognizing her face from her Instagram account. And at the end of the message, he asked that the fan keep the conversation a secret. And as you can see, that worked wonderfully. So apparently, after some time, when this first conversation started spreading, another one was posted online between Jun Hyuk and the fan. And in the chat this time, Jun Hyuk writes, "Let's handle this between ourselves. Even if it goes to court, let's handle it ourselves. If there's a penalty fee we have to pay, then Oppa will pay it, and you will pay too. It's the most realistic thing we can do. I just can't act like nothing's happening because my job is about selling my face. You understand me, right? Or am I the wrong one here?" So that may be in the response, I guess, to the backlash that they are receiving or could receive if they were indeed dating and it got out like I guess it did. So from what I've seen, a lot of people think actually rather than Jun Hyuk leaving voluntarily, he was actually kicked out due to this whole scandal. And the idea he left was a cover-up. However, I actually do believe the idea that he left on his own accord, but I also believe the idea that this scandal had something to do with it. Whether this relationship between Jun Hyuk and this fan was real or not, he was clearly getting backlash from it and was affecting his relationship between him and his other fans. Like, for example, there's this video going around of some of Jun Hyuk's last performances with the band, and during the songs, the Day 6 fans were literally giving him the silent treatment. During other members' parts, they would sing along, but once it reached his part, the crowd would go silent. That's harsh. I'm not gonna put in this video just because I don't want it to get taken down or anyone to drag me, but I will link it down below for you guys to check it out. But it must have been scary for him to see some of his fans turn on him so quickly. I mean, it was only one scandal and he was already in this much hot water. Now, put this on top of all the changes he's probably had to go through now that he was, thrust into the idol world. Probably not getting a lot of sleep anymore, his privacy basically going bye-bye. He probably maybe realized that the idol life, the performer life, whatever you want to call it, wasn't all that it was cut out to be and wasn't worth it in his eyes. The K-pop world got a super duper shock when rumors started spreading that 2NE1's Minzy was looking for different agencies. YG then followed this up with a statement confirming that yes, she would be leaving 2NE1. So they actually released a long statement about this that I don't really feel like reading, so I'm just gonna highlight some points and summarize. Basically in the statement, YG Entertainment confirmed that yes, Minzy would be leaving the group. They specifically stated that as their contracts do expire this May, they had face-to-face, interviews and discussions and meetings with them. And while the YG side of things did confirm that they did want to start 2NE1 back up again, Minzy was like, nah, B. Now this was interesting because they said that they were understanding and they did admit that it was kind of messy how they just all of a sudden stopped activities 2 years ago. But it was like, and I don't know if I can say this was low-key shady, I'll explain later, but in this announcement, it was actually pretty surprising because they announced that while Minzy did leave and they won't be adding any new members, they are going to have a 2NE1 comeback this summer. So it was really shocking, and I feel like this has been a rumor that Minzy was fitting to leave like for a while now. I specifically remember the story about Minzy changing her Instagram and social media handles by removing the 2NE1 name. I remember reporting on that story when I first started this channel, so it's been a long time coming. But I guess it was just really shocking because while people joked about it, and people would joke about how like 2NE1 is basically disbanded because they haven't been active, I don't think anyone really thought that this was gonna happen, so it was really surprising. And I think it's sad because it comes on top of all, these 2009 girl groups, just like them all being on like this brink. Like you had FX, Sully left, a lot of the fate of 4 Minute I guess is up in the air. A lot of people think that they're gonna leave their company, and now you have 2NE1. Now they're going to continue on as a 3-member group, and it's just weird. Now I want to get a full story of a lot of statements that have been going around before I give my official opinion on what happened. So I guess a lot of people were just taking the announcement and news for what it was until Minzy's father decided to step up in the game, y'all. Minzy's dad posted a video of her with the caption, "Her passion is still overflowing." However, he decided to get shady up in the hashtags, as we all do, and in them he conveyed the statement, "If you're gonna act like that with the media play, then I'm gonna hold a press conference for the truth. I tried to leave it as a beautiful separation." Now, while, Minzy's father is out here, doing the most, I guess, I can understand. He's just trying to protect his daughter's image. After this, Minzy's looking for new agencies, but big companies, they tend to put a lot of money and things like that behind their trainees. And not only that, but Minzy leaving essentially kind of shook up 2NE1's legacy. I mean, they'll still be legendary, but there's a change. There's always going to be a change up in dynamics and just feel of a group when a member leaves. That's just how it's gonna be. No matter how great the members are who's still left behind, there's gonna be a change. So since Minzy leaving essentially shook up 2NE1 in a sense, I could see, I don't know, YG trying to get the upper hand in this situation. I mean, anyone can say that the separation was, fine and everyone wishes each other well, but we never know what's going on behind the scenes. So I can see if Minzy's dad senses that, YG might be doing something in terms of character building or character, destroying, or has something in the works that in the long run won't be good for Minzy's career after 2NE1 and after YG. Now, before I even read the statement from Minzy's dad, I kind of cocked my head a bit because even though it wasn't that badly put, and on top of that, I am reading a translation, so there might be, something lost in translation. Am I the only one who kind of found it shady that YG in the statement said that they expressed this huge desire to bring 2NE1 back together, but Minzy did not feel the same way. Even though, that's probably how it went down, I feel like they're trying to share the blame with Minzy when they shouldn't. If you go back and you really look at what went wrong with 2NE1, it was because they put them on hiatus for so long. Minzy wanting to leave was a consequence of that first terrible effect. And as much as they do say that they do take responsibility and they feel sorry, and in the statement they say they feel sorry rather than unsatisfied, I feel like it's still like they're putting the focal point on the fact that it was Minzy's decision to leave and not why Minzy wanted to leave. And that's actually another thing I want to get into, because I was really surprised to see that while there were a lot of people supporting Minzy and supporting 3NE1, sorry guys, I had to, come on. I saw that there was a number of people who apparently identify as Black chicks who were literally hating on Minzy and saying, you know, she was nothing without 2NE1 and this is a mistake, and, you know, kind of just bashing her for leaving. And that kind of like really scares me, because there's this whole thing in K-pop and among K-pop stans where there's this debate whether K-pop fans really do care about these idols or they treat them like products just like the company. And you would think that, you know, if it's a fan base, they would treat them like, you know, people. However, I keep seeing time and time again that when a member breaks the illusion of a perfect group or like the legacy of a perfect group, they get all this crazy hate. And the only way I can equate it as is that you're mad because they're breaking the group as a product and you're not really concerned with, hey, why is this person wanting to leave? Because my whole thing is, YG Entertainment is a top company. And like people would die, people are literally breaking their backs to get in. So if Minzy wanted to leave this company that supposedly can do anything for you, there had to be a good reason. You just don't leave the big three without a good reason, and I don't know why people don't understand that. So I think to try to demonize her is insane, because it's like, from the get-go, let me go back real quick. From the get-go, I feel like I felt like this thing with Minzy, and I feel like I feel this thing with all the 1994 lines just because we're the same age. So I'm like, yeah, you do you while I do me somewhere else. And I just felt like she was one of the most diligent workers. Like, she was good at dancing, she was good at singing, she could rap, she did everything she was, you know, expected of as a trainee. But I feel like in return, you know, 2NE1 as a group was successful, but I feel like the support for Minzy individually was never there. And I saw a lot of people comparing Minzy's situation during 2NE1's hiatus with, you know, what CL was doing, what Dara was doing. We know what happened to Bomb, so we know why she wasn't very active. A lot of people were saying that, you know, if Minzy was upset that she didn't get any work on 2NE1's hiatus, then that's her fault. She wasn't ambitious enough. Are you talking about the same girl who was out here making videos, dancing, doing what she could? If she couldn't come out with anything officially, that was because they weren't supporting her. And I think it's so interesting that people are saying, well, if she couldn't do anything or she wasn't active, it was her fault. Okay, so is it 2NE1's fault that they weren't active for those 2 years? Was it Winner's fault that they had some strange 1-year hiatus between their debut and their first comeback? Was it iKON's fault that it took them forever to come out? Like, I don't see why everyone is so quick to demonize Minzy. And I guess the only explanation I can come from is they're mad because now 2NE1 has a crack in their armor. Like, they're as great as they still are, in my opinion. A lot of people see that their legacy is kind of smeared with the fact that Minzy decided to leave, and it makes everyone look shady. And I mean, not my opinion, I don't think anyone's shady because everyone's just doing them. But I feel like it kind of makes everyone think that now 2NE1's gonna get attacked and hated on because Minzy decided to leave. But rather than that and being mad at her for that, I feel like we should really be looking into the issue and why she decided to leave. I don't know, it's just really crazy to see how quickly people turn on their supposed faves because of situations like this. And you know what, I feel like I'm just gonna support Minzy and whatever she does and support 3NE1 on whatever they do. So that's it for the top 5 most shocking member departures of 2016. But as always, guys, I wanna know what you think. Which ones do you remember from 2016 that really gave you a surprise? Make sure to tell me below, and see you next time on Weekly Wrap Up. Bye!